All right, guys, just wanted to be going over my favorite film breakout candidates for this upcoming fantasy football season. Now, you might be saying, hey, Chris Carson kind of broke out last year. That is true, but I feel like what he did last year relatively went unnoticed, and he put together some really dominant film, and we'll go over that. So last year, Chris Carson, pretty much all of his plays, he was being met in the backfield or having to make a defender miss, and he would. He just put together some tremendous film. To me, he put together the best film out of any running back last year, and that's just because of the plays that he made behind the line of scrimmage, the plays that he had to make to be able to gain yards, and just every game it seemed like he was just being productive at the running back position. He was very impressive with his footwork, with his vision, with his ability to get upfield. And I just think that this year he's going to be a little bit underdrafted. Now, obviously, we'll have to see what the news is come draft times, whether Rashad Penny is going to begin, a split work carry. But still, if Chris Carson's going to be in 60% of the workload, I think he's going to be a really good, strong option for us this fantasy football season. And I just really like him as a pick. Right now, I would not hesitate to take him in the early third round. But obviously, when the fantasy football season comes around, we'll have to see where he's projected at, see if he's going to be a nice little value draft pick for us. Next one I want to touch on is going to be DJ Moore. Now, DJ Moore, obviously with Devin Funchess gone, he should be able to see a little bit of an uptick in his targets and thus in his fantasy production. The thing that I like the most about DJ Moore, one, is the style of the offense that he's in. With Christian McCaffrey there and with DJ Moore there, I feel like they're just going to try to get the ball out quickly and get the ball into their two playmakers' hands. DJ Moore is really good once he has the ball in his hands. He's really good at making defenders miss after he has the ball in his hands. I do think he can improve on his route running a little bit, but you guys will see here, he just is able to get upfield, make a defender miss, and then he's gone. They do give him a lot of reverses and carries behind the backfield. I think that's going to be something that we continue to see. And I also just think we're going to continue to see these really quick routes. And if he's going to get that, he's going to be a strong option. I do think he's going to be the number one option receiving-wise in this offense, unless you want to consider Christian McCaffrey a receiving option. But still, he's going to be going into a second year, and I really do think he can break out and have a really great season. We do see that the Carolina Panthers' number one receiver does tend to have a lot of fantasy value. As you guys can see here, he's doing that reverse, and he's just going to get upfield. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, trying to get the ball into DJ Moore's hands a lot quicker and a lot faster and a lot more frequently. So Dante Pettis is kind of the opposite as DJ Moore. Dante Pettis is great before he gets the ball in his hands. He is a great route runner, and yeah, obviously he had not the best fantasy football season last year. He was injured a lot. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo got injured, and they were down to their third-string quarterback. So all that added together for him not to have that great of a fantasy football season. But you pair that with what he was able to do when he did play, I really like him as a prospect for this fantasy football season. We'll pull up his game film here. This is just a phenomenal catch with some phenomenal footwork. If Dante Pettis excels at one thing, it is his footwork. He has some great footwork. He's able to make people miss with his route running, with his footwork, and I just think he's going to be a great option for us this fantasy football season. You'll see it here in a second. He's just able to create separation right away on his route, and he's wide open. Pretty much every time you're watching a Dante Pettis catch, he's wide open. Now, it could be by offensive design, but I think most of the part of that is just Dante Pettis with that great footwork. He's able to create separation, and then it's just a matter of not if he can turn upfield and start breaking out some easy touchdowns. But obviously, we really like this offensive scheme, and if he's going to be the number one receiver in this offense, I think he could be in for a huge year. He's also going into his second year like DJ Moore. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be DJ Moore or Dante Pettis that has the most fantasy football points this year? I'm going to go with Dante Pettis, actually, but I could easily see it being DJ Moore. Maybe it depends on if it's a PPR or not. All right, so Chris Godwin, we already kind of saw him break out. It's kind of been trending the last two seasons that he is going to have a breakout year. And now that Deshaun Jackson's gone, I think we can really see that happen. Last year, he started out really hot and had some really good games where he really popped. And then he kind of just faded away in some of those games. But I think with Chris Godwin's ability to go up and get the ball, I really like him as a prospect. Like I said, Deshaun Jackson's going to be gone. They got Chris Godwin on one end and Mike Evans on the other hand. given the fact that Adam Humphries is also gone, that's a lot of targets that are available. And I think most of those are going to go to Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin just has great ball skills, and he just has that bite that you look for in a receiver. He wants to get that extra yard. He wants to be able to go out and beat that defender for that catch. He's not going to give up on a play, and he's going to give it his all each and every play. And that's why I really like. I could easily see him sneaking into the top 12 at the fantasy football receiver rankings at the end of the year. Now, we do worry about the quarterback play, but I do think that offense, is due to get better with new offensive coordinator coming in there. So I think that Chris Godwin is going to be in for a big year this year. Next one I want to touch on is going to be James Washington. Now, we know that Antonio Brown is gone. He is no longer with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's on the Raiders. And so one thing I like about that is that's going to create a lot more opportunity for James Washington. So with James Washington, I do want to point out one thing. The Steelers' number 2 receiver has been really productive. We saw it with Mike Wallace and AB. We saw it with Martavis Bryant a few years back. Then we saw it, the last 2 years with Juju Smith-Schuster. I think James Washington is going to step into that number 2 receiver role, and we see it right here. He has the playmaking abilities. He was the former college receiver of the year 2 years ago, and he came into his rookie season. He didn't get that much playing time because, they didn't really need him to. They had AB and Juju just balling out. But I think that he is going to be a really strong number 2 option. I don't think he's going to do as good as Juju did last year. Obviously, Juju had a great year, but I could easily see James Washington sneaking into a top 20 receiver at the end of the year. Would not be shocked. Like I said, he does have the ball skills. He's just a playmaker. He can definitely make plays happen. And, a number 2 receiver in that offense, that's something that we like. That's something that's trending or has been a trend throughout Big Ben's career. All right, so that's all that I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a like and subscribe if you did. If you want more videos, that like button. Thank you.